Spreading the news.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
New York, I love you. I love New York.
Rose trying to get open, fires away. Bang! It's over! The Bulls win at the buzzer! Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James! LeBron James with the rejection. Puts up the three. Won't go. Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Off the Ball Podcast with me, your host, Chris LeBron. And day one of the NBA draft was a doozy. We had a lot happening, trades, the Ace Bailey drama coming to an end, him going to the Jazz, him not being happy being a member of the Utah Jazz. We had some surprises in the top 10, even in the top 20. Hanson Yang getting drafted top 20. CMB going top 10 to Toronto. Him maybe looking like he wasn't too happy about it. And then some guys that I had high on my board not getting selected in the first round. So we'll discuss all that. But obviously, we all knew Cooper Flagg was going to be the number one pick in the draft. That was absolutely no shock at all. Then it followed by Dylan Harper. And then we all knew the draft kind of started at 3. Like, what would Philly do? Would they trade back down? Would they take Knipple? What would they do? And they wound up taking VJ Edgecombe out of Baylor, someone that I've been writing about for years now, going back to like his junior year in high school. He's just an absolute dog. And it was just dope to see his progression these last few years. So really cool to see him go top 3 in the draft. And then the Hornets took Knipple, one of the best shooters in the class. And then the Utah Jazz. We knew Ace did not want to go there, right, from what we heard. And they took him anyway. And my guy, he is not happy. Not a lot of happy Nets fans right now. They took 5 guys, man. And then we're not talking about the fast food joint. And we're not talking about the fast food joint, bro. As you see, without the burgers and yeah, you know what? Let's get right into that because obviously Ace. I'll talk about Ace in a second, but let's dive into the Nets. The Nets are the first team in NBA history, I believe, to take 5 guys in the first round. That's never been done before. So they took 5 guys in the first round. And it's not that they took 5 guys in the first round, which I'm still kind of shocked that they used all 5 first round picks. And listen, some stuff could still happen. You know, it's just who they kind of took. And listen, I understand. I'm very, keen that everyone's board's different, especially guys, teams in the NBA. Their boards are going to be completely different from mine, completely different from the some of the scouts that I trust. I understand it, but man, like, all right, so their first pick with the 8th pick, they took Igor Denham. I was high on him early in the process. And then as this year go by, I was like, okay, I think he might struggle with physicality. Obviously he's 6'8", 6'9", so he could be able to make some plays regardless because of his height. But man, the physicality, he wasn't able to really, handle that great at times in the Big 12. So how is he going to be able to handle it when you got, Kawhi Leonard, such and such guys, Lou Dortz, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby types, how are you going to handle that, Jazz and Nets, perfect opportunity to swap. It is what it is. They didn't tank correctly. Now they will, right? Both teams definitely didn't tank correctly. Well, they just didn't get luck. NBA guys did not bless him. And then they followed up with the Nets. They followed that with taking what was their second pick? Or Nolan Trayar. I wasn't really crazy about Nolan Trayar. I have him 44 on my board. He's someone that stock dropped. I mean, at one point he was like a lottery selection, and I get some of the upside. He has tremendous upside, but I don't know. He struggled with a lot of things, with finishing, shooting. Like there's a lot of things I just wasn't crazy about with him. So okay, they take him, and then with the 26th pick, they take Ben Sarif. I think he could be a good player, a good slashing type of wing, but another guy shooting is very inconsistent shooter, and I don't know. Would have went somewhere else with that. Then they followed by Danny Wolf, which I actually thought that was the best value they got. Danny Wolf, and what was the other pick? I forgot. Oh, Drake Powell, because that was they traded that with the Nets. He's someone that it was a tough year because North Carolina just wasn't great. He's someone that he might be better off, at the next level than he is at college. But he had a good combine and he really showed out, and that's really what really helped him. But I had him in a second round, so it just, I don't know, I just didn't like the value of what they got. Like, Drake Powell going to be a pro. I think he'll be solid. Like I think he'll be solid, but it's just, I don't know. I would have went other ways with the Nets draft. It just head scratching, and then they used all 5 picks. Now I still think there's something bigger in play with the Brooklyn Nets. I don't think all 5 of these guys are going to be on the opening day roster. I still think there's something with the Utah, and I kind of was talking about with Ace Bailey. I thought one of my bold predictions of the draft was that the Nets would trade up to 3, or at least into the top 5, to take Ace Bailey. And I still feel like that's something that will happen. I think Danny Ainge knows the Nets are kind of desperate. He knows Sean Marks is fighting for his job. He knows the Nets need some type of guy who has massive upside and can at least give them hope going into next year, where they could possibly have another top 10 shot at getting a top 3 pick. There's a lot of great players. Darren Peterson, obviously AJ DeBenza, there's Cam Boozer, and give him a shot to get that. So I think this is my thinking. I think Danny Ainge took Ace, even with knowing that Ace does not want to be there, but they knew Ace wanted to go to, I think it was, from all the reports, like it was the Wizards, it was the Nets, and the Pelicans. I believe those are the 3 teams he was interested in going to. So my thinking that Danny Ainge is like, okay, you don't want to be here. So we're not really crazy about the guys that are here at this point. So we know the Nets, you want to go to the Nets want you. We're going to get what we want. And Danny Ainge has always been that type of basketball ops guy. So I think that Danny Ainge is playing games with the Nets. He knows the Nets. He's leading them on, right? He's like a girl. He's trying to lead on the girl and tell them, this and that, and trying to make them, and trying to, tell them, you need me. I don't need you. You need me, essentially. And I think he just smells blood in the water, and he knows the Nets need to do it. And I think the Nets eventually, this is my bold, this is even bolder, another bold, but I think the Nets are going to find a way to get Ace Bailey on the team. Now, and because it just doesn't make sense why the Jazz would take an unhappy player and do that. So that's my prediction. I think that's what's going to happen. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go on a limb and say that will happen. So the Nets, man, the Nets really I don't know, man. I did not like the draft they did. It just didn't make a ton of sense. Some of their picks, like I would, if they had taken Jace Richardson over Nolan Trayor, like I would have been really, that would have been okay. You know, Rasheer Fleming, like there's some guys where I'm just like, yeah, they if they had taken other guys, if they use all five of their picks for other guys, like I would have been like, okay, all right. It just I don't know. I don't feel I didn't like what they did. I don't it's not even like I don't like the Nets. And some people might think that and if you know me, you know I don't really like I'm a very rational type of Knicks fan. Like and basketball fan. Like I don't really, even if it's a team a rival, I'm gonna just be keep it a buck. I just didn't like what they did. I thought they had a chance to really do something really good this draft, and they didn't do it. And that's my opinion. I mean, we could be wrong. We can all look like idiots next year, and Igor Demon is in a running for rookie of the year. And Drake Powell is looking like what we thought he was going to be. Initially coming out when he coming out of high school. We could all be wrong, but I don't know. I just felt like there was so much better value they could have got, or and who knows? Maybe we'll find out that they did try to get Ace, But I still think they're gonna try. I still think they're gonna try to pull it off. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Nets did not have a good day, and Twitter had definitely wasn't too kind, and even Nets fans in general, like they didn't seem happy. They just didn't seem happy that about their draft. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the next couple days. I'm just trying to read up of any other new information. But yeah, so some surprises. I mean, Colin Murray and Boyles, I kind of knew maybe was yeah. Who'd they take today? Australian kid. I remember they love their overseas guy, your boy Marks. But what pick? So they have the sixth pick. I mean, Rasheer Fleming, man. Rasheer Fleming, Maxine Renaud. Like, the one of those guys needs to be a Brooklyn Net, right? Unless they trade the pick, because I mean, they're gonna go into camp with six guys, six rooks. I mean, unless they're all in on tanking, we'll see what happens, my guy. I feel for you. I'm feeling for the Nets guys today. But Timberwolves start off the night. Tonight. Oh, when is the draft today? What time is the draft? The second round. I know last year was like midday. I got to see what time the second round is, but some Hanson Yang going top 20. I mean, if there's a guy that benefited from the combine, it's Hanson Yang, man. Absolute, tremendous display in the combine, and it pivoted to him going to the Blazers in a trade. So I mean, they took my guy Donovan Clingan last year, I thought, who should have been the number one pick. They're gonna play big. They're gonna play big. And Hanson Yang has some skill to him too. He's not just a big guy. He has some some skill with his playmaking and his finishing around the rim. But his conditioning was the one thing I think people were concerned about, and he looked good at the combine. So maybe and that obviously Portland felt good enough about that to draft him, 16th, which is crazy. I didn't think he'd go this high. I thought maybe in the early second round, but they thought they're gonna have their own version of Twin Towers there. Yeah, and they even traded back too. They traded back and they saw their guy they wanted, and I'll give them credit. It's not something I would have done, because I'm a big Clingan guy, but they just want to get, they want to get beefy down low. So that was a bit of a surprise. I mean, OKC getting Thomas Sorber, man. Oh, I was so jealous. I'm like, oh, the rich get richer, man. He that's just a luxury pick right there. You know, that's just a luxury pick. I was so mad that he was going to OKC, but the rich get richer there. Surprises. There wasn't a lot of crazy surprises. I'm actually maybe Kasparas Giannionis going so low, but he's going a good spot in Miami. That was a I didn't see him dropping that far down, but I heard people say that he could be one of the guys that falls. But other than that, not really surprised. I mean, like I said, the Nets, I wasn't crazy about what the Nets did. Hanson Yang going as high as he went, surprising in a sense. Kasparis Giannionis going lower than I thought, bit of a surprise. Um, some guys that I like that are going that did not get drafted. Some notable names in the seated below. Maxime Renard had 11th on my board. Adu Thero 13th. Rasheer Fleming 15th. Elijah Martin 29th. And Cockburn. The last two, I'm not completely shocked that they fell out of the first. But I think Cockburner's gone by either he's probably the first or second pick in the second round. Maxime Renard, I think, is gone really early too. Rasheer Fleming too, I think, is gone. I can see Elijah Martin's gonna maybe fall. I'm probably way higher than most. I just like his game a lot. So I think but there's always gonna be surprises in that way. Like the way I'm surprised Maxime Renard and Rasheer Fleming fell, but there's always gonna be you're always gonna get guys like that who are gonna fall. Like it's really unpredictable. Yeah, so Yannick Koenig Niederhauser was the last pick. The Clippers. I mean, I thought that was Rasheer Fleming or Maxime Renard. I think those would be better fits, but they wanted a rim running big with James Harden, so I kind of get um that. But he needs to get a little bit he needs to get some strength. He needs to get some strength. I mean, he has all the potentials with his shot blocking ability, so I get it, but I would have loved Maxime Renard or Fleming there. I'm really surprised at Fleming, especially at Renard. I can understand to a sense, but Rasheer Fleming, I was surprised. I was surprised. Just trying to read up on some because it was then a bunch of trades. I mean, the Suns traded for Mark Williams and then drafted um who they draft? Pagman Malawach. It's funny. I remember seeing somebody in the stands with a Bobcats jersey, and they just showed a picture of it. That's funny. Wondering who was wearing that. But there's some good talent available in the second round, and for the Knicks have the 50th pick in the draft. There's a possibility to get a solid player there with some guys dropping. You know, I mean a combination. I mean, if I had to pick like a combination of guys, like Michael Peavy would be in there. Kobe Brea, Alex Tui, um, Kobe Brea is my number one. Roko Zakarski would be interesting. Uh, Jameer Watkins, who they worked out. Duthero, another guy. I can't believe I had him way higher. I think but I heard his medicals are kind of eh. So that's part, and it makes sense if that's the case. His medicals, because I know he had a knee thing. So if the knee, if there, it seems it's probably people worried about the knee. Noah Penda too. He's a interesting prospect. So that And I said this on Knicks Fan TV yesterday. Let's say we get into the 40s. Let's say it's like the mid 40s, and Kobe Brea, a Thero, or like Micah Peavy. If those guys are there, I know it sounds crazy to trade up in the second round, but especially if it's Kobe Brea. If Kobe Brea is there at 45 and stuff, like if he's there at 45, I call the Bulls before the Bulls take him and try to get that kid because he's the best shooter in the class. Like I really want Kobe Brea on the Knicks. Like that's my dream. Dream scenario. I know it sounds crazy for second round, but I would love him. If not, I think I'm actually thinking Elijah Martin's gonna be there at 50. I would love Elijah Martin. So, but there's a chance none of these guys are gonna be there, and so you have to live with that too. Just looking at these mocks for on ESPN. And so the ESPN mock has the Knicks taking Lachlan Olbrich from the Illawarra Hawks. I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown of him. Throwback big man with a strong motor and a feel for the game, whose improvement this season helped the Illawarra Hawks to the NBL championship. Weaknesses: without the length to play center, 6'11" wingspan, and a lack of floor spacing ability for a power forward, he's somewhat stuck between positions on both ends and doesn't possess great explosiveness to compensate. The verdict: Olbrich returned to Australia after productive freshman year in the Big West. He came a long way, showing excellent passing ability, strong interior skill, and effort and physicality to get by defensively. His ability to figure out how to keep defenders honest from the perimeter will likely be crucial for the NBA chances, given his lack of physical defensive tools. Not what I want to hear. Not what I would want, especially with like Eric, like in this ESPN mock, they have Eric Dixon going to pick the next pick to the Clippers, who I would much rather have, even though he's not an ideal fit, but he's a bucket. I'd rather have Elijah Martin. I'd rather have Amari Williams. I'd rather even Dink Pate. Like everyone they have going ahead of the Knicks pick and Lakeland Aldridge, I would much rather have. Much rather have. Every single pick. Like every single pick. Like maybe not Salil Niang. Like I don't know too much about him. But everyone else, I much rather have. I'd rather have Noah Nemhard. I'd rather have Kobe Sanders. I'd rather have Hunter Salas. I'd rather have Victor Lankland. I'd rather have Dink Pate, Mark Williams, Elijah Martin, Eric Dixon. All guys I much rather have than Lakeland Olbrich. I just feel like that would be kind of a wasted pick. And I get it's a second round, but there's still some guys there that I think could actually maybe be some type of rotational option for the Knicks. Okay. So I'm not too crazy. I'm just trying to, I'm actually going to look on some mock drafts and see who people have the Knicks taking. Let's see Tankathon. See what Tankathon has the Knicks taking in the second round. They have Elijah Martin going to the New York Knicks. I would love that if that's the case. Let me look at some other reputable sites. NBA draft. Let's look at NBA DraftNet. Shout out to NBA DraftNet. I've been looking at them for years. Feels like 20 years I've been on NBA DraftNet. So NBA DraftNet has Hunter Salas going to the Knicks at 50. Okay. I'd be cool with Hunter Salas, Elijah Martin. Would absolutely be cool with that. The mock draft I did yesterday, the community mock, my guy Don Juan, he represented the Knicks and he drafted Hunter Salas, I believe. Oh, Jameer Watkins. He drafted um he drafted him. So Knicks have the 50th pick in the draft today. We'll see what they do. Will they actually trade up with some of these guys? I'm just reading on some things. I'm out on negative defending bigs, but in round two, fine. I guess much better option. Just reading up on Maxime Renard because I like Maxime Renard a lot. I think it's kind of maybe the defensive stuff with Renard. That's probably why he dropped in the draft. That's probably my thinking is why Maxine dropped. I'm trying to figure out why the heck did Fleming drop? That one doesn't make sense. I haven't read up on anything that's like I know people question like maybe his the feel of the game, like his let me read up on ESPN and see what they're saying. Okay, so this is what Jeremy Wu's saying. His feel for the game is a major question. He does not process the game quickly and on either end of the floor. He sometimes struggles to make basic passes. Okay, so that's essentially like an IQ thing. They don't think he has the basketball IQ because I mean he has the physical tools, the wingspan, shoot it. So my thinking is just they don't like this feel of the game. The Max Runod is the defensive stuff, and I know his athleticism. I know that. I know Duthero is the medical stuff. That's why he fell. Kalkbrenner has got to be, whether they think his game can translate because of his size and his foot speed. That's got to be it with him. Where do they have Kalkbrenner going? To the Hornets. Yeah, that's what they're saying with their explosiveness. So I mean, there's reasons why guys drop. I mean, Duthero somewhat stuck between four positions as a work in process, a skill level and feel for the game, defensive engagement. He struggled to make shots consistently. It's to me, it's the biggest thing is the knee because he's a great athlete and he's strong, but I just think the knee is the biggest issue. I know that some of the shot consistency is an issue, but I think it's more of the knee. I think the knee is the biggest issue. 'Cause I don't think he's too much far behind like a Cedric Howard, in just my opinion. I would love the Knicks to look at Chaz Lanier too, man. He's a sniper. He doesn't bring much of anything else, but he could shoot, and the Knicks need shooting. Knicks need shooting. So just some interesting stuff, and obviously the draft night one. I Can we bring it back to one day, please? We don't need a 2 night NBA draft. Please, we don't need that, Mr. Silver. Like, we don't need it. And honestly, the first yesterday, you could have done that draft, and I think the draft was 2.5 hours. That could have been an under 2 hour show. Really could have been. It's one round. It doesn't need to be that long. It doesn't need that long, you know. And do a better job of you want 2 nights, you want people to care about watching today, do a better job of talking about the players that are going to be around in the second round. Just do a better job. Don't just wait till the pick is selected. Talk about these guys so people can be intrigued about watching the second round of the draft. Just the thing. There's some things the NBA still need to clean up as far as the optics. So night two is going to be when is the draft tonight too? I won't be around. I would have done a live stream or hopped on KFTV like I did yesterday, but I have a little thing called work. And Yesterday was 8 p.m. It's probably 8 o'clock again. Yeah, it's Thursday. It's 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock draft today. So we'll see. The Nets. The Nets only have one pick in the second round. So we'll see what they do. It's a high pick too. Like, it's crazy. Their second round pick might be their best draft pick. That might be their best pick because they can potentially get a good player there. It starts off with the Timberwolves. The Knicks have the 50th pick in the draft. The Lakers have 55. Some of the high-profile teams that haven't selected yet. I think Cavs haven't selected yet. The Denver Nuggets don't have a pick in this draft. The Bucks select. The Warriors all will. Detroit all will have their first picks in the draft today. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if there's any more trades on the horizon, and I'll talk about this more tomorrow morning, and discuss the round 2 of the NBA draft and give you some more winners and losers of that. But that's going to be it for the Off the Ball podcast. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment on the YouTube channel. Make sure to follow on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple, Spreaker. And like I said, subscribe. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to 600 subs, and keep it going. Keep it going. Make sure to check out the stream last night, Knicks Fan TV. Had fun doing that. Always a good time talking draft when I can. I just love it. I'll say one thing before I go. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm like a scout, or I don't go deep into the draft like that, as far as breaking it down to an exact science with analytics and stuff. But I just like to give people, I like to know enough where I can tell people enough about prospects, give them kind of a Cliff Notes version of what a guy is. I'm not going to break it down to every exact science where percentage on every spot in the court, but just give you a little intel on what these guys, give you intel on guys. Just give you a little bit of information on these guys so you understand, what they're about, what they can do, what they can't do, what they need to work on. So I like to be that type of media. I learn from the guys who give me all that information, and I try to give information to anyone who wants to know, and just break it down as simplistic as possible. A lot of people, you don't care about some of these crazy splits, and even sometimes stuff I read, I'm like, I don't really care about those, like this numbers I don't even know about. So just try to break it down simplistically so you guys can understand, who's coming into the draft and stuff. Just make it basic. Sometimes it's not too basic. So we're gonna do more of that today. We're gonna see who's on who gets selected, and I'll hop on the live stream tomorrow, and we'll talk more about the second round of the draft. So on that note, be well, be safe, take care, peace out.
Start spreading the news.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
New York, I love you. I love New York.